There is one major difference between the two standard dictionaries in Hebrew, BDB and HALOT. So if you're going to be using either of these, you need to know this difference. Knowing this difference is going to help your use of the dictionary, even your exegesis, and your vocabulary retention. Now we're going to look at one verse to help us illustrate how these two dictionaries differ. And that's going to be Psalm 130, verse 2. Let's look at it. So here we have verse 2. And the word that we're going to focus in on is this last word right here. The line reads, as out of the ESV, "O Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my pleas for mercy." This final word of the line, my pleas for mercy, that's the one that we're interested in. Now we see that we have the 1CS pronominal suffix to it. And if we just think about what our actual lexical form would be, it is tachanun. Now, if we look in HALOT, or even the concise version by Holiday, you'd look this under the alphabetical listing. So you'd look at the very first letter of our word, tachanun, and you'd look that part up in the dictionary, just like a Greek dictionary or just like an English dictionary. You turn to the Tav section, then you look down alphabetically to the chets and to the nuns until you find our word tachanun, and then you'd find the definition. Now, if we try the same thing, looking up this word in BDB by starting with that Tav and looking in the Tav section of BDB, and when we get there, it won't give us a definition. It'll point us to another word. Why? The reason is BDB is not listed strictly alphabetically. It's based off of the base root of each word. Once we have our root of chet nun nun, we can look underneath that heading to find our actual word that we're looking for, tachanun, listed underneath that root. So the main difference between BDB and HALOT is how they're listed. HALOT is listed alphabetically. Every single word, no matter what root it's associated with, is listed alphabetically, how its lexical form is written. BDB, on the other hand, is listed based on the various roots that these words are built off of. But there are some benefits to BDB's system. The first one is that it allows you to see relationships between different words that you may not normally associate them with. Take, for instance, this word that we have here in Psalm 130, verse 2, tachanun. When I was reading this passage in my reader's edition, it glossed it as prayer or supplication. And to my kind of weak mind, that suggested more of a general sort of request. But then looking in the dictionary, it suggests it's a pleading or a supplication for favor or for mercy or something like that. Now I'm easily confused, so I was wondering why this extra nuance of pleading for favor instead of just a more general request or supplication. And the light bulb just kind of clicked for me when I was looking at BDB a little bit more carefully, in that it was associated with the root chet nun nun, which has kind of the base idea of favor, compassion, etc. Now, I know that's not totally determinative, the core idea of the root, but it does give you a good starting point. So maybe you already know this, but for me anyways, seeing that linguistic relationship really can help unlock a little bit anyways of some of the nuances in the meaning of a word, or for this word, tachanun, pleas for mercy. Now you can get the same sort of information about the root in HALOT. It'll have this little side note where it lists from this root, chet nun nun. But it can be easy to miss that as you're just reading for a definition or something. You have to be a bit more intentional to maybe find that than you would if you were looking under the root like in BDB. Now, an added feature of using BDB's system, or just recognizing a word's root, is for vocabulary acquisition. If you can connect that word with its base root, that will help you to not only remember that word and the root, but it'll also help connect it to other words that also use that same root. This will help you remember these various forms, but also help you to make an educated guess as you are reading a text. As you identify, ooh, it's from this root, so I know the root means this, so this is a noun form, this is a verbal form, so it's probably going to be some sort of definition in this area. So remembering how each dictionary is organized can alleviate a lot of frustration, as well as help you see some cool connections. So the next time you're looking up a Hebrew word, look at it in both HALOT and in BDB, and see what connections you can make with its general root. Hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.